just why you're feeling a little bit squeezed when it comes to pricing your services. So I specialize in helping accountants and bookkeepers get higher value clients through sales and marketing superpowers. And today I'm just going to answer a question that I got from an accountant that I was chatting to last night. We were chatting on Messenger and they said to me, frustration, how do I get higher value clients when there are so many people undervaluing, or so many accountants and bookkeepers undervaluing their services that they're selling them super cheap? And this is having an effect on the industry. And I 150 billion %, hey Sarah, how you doing? I 150 billion % agree with this. You know, I see way too many accountants and bookkeepers undervaluing their services, trying to price low so that they get the business, and it is driving down the value of the profession as a whole. And we can't have this any longer. But we can't change the profession overnight. I'm out there beating my drum. I'm out there teaching superpowers on how to actually price and position yourself in the marketplace so you get those high value clients. But today I'm going to share with you and give you a little bit of an idea of how to position yourself so that you are not questioned on price, okay? Because there's a few things that I see a problem with. First of all, you are overworked and underpaid for the majority of your clients. If you are not a new startup and already have an established firm, I reckon that the majority of your clients aren't paying you well enough. The second problem that I see you guys have is not only are people not paying you well enough, you're also not attracting enough inquiries. You're not getting enough leads. So when you're not getting enough leads, you're taking on clients and you're giving your services away because you're really worried about where the next client is going to come from. And both of these things have a knock-on effect. They don't just affect your business, they don't just affect your team, but they affect your personal life as well. You're overworked, you're stressed, you know, life can be really freaking hard when you do not have enough money coming into the bank account, or you're giving away your services and people are literally taking their pound of flesh. All right, so let's just say, hopefully you can see my screen. I have drawn a triangle. We will start with the triangle, and I don't need a pen. I need actually my Apple Pencil. And that would ruin my iPad. So today what I'm going to do is share with you how, so the key thing that we're going to be working on today is how can we, instead of being at the bottom of this triangle where it's low price services, we want you to be high value services. Okay, now before I even start about how to position yourself with high value services, there is a caveat to all of this. And the caveat is you have to provide value. So if you are not providing enough value in your services, then do expect to be questioned on price. You have to actually get your offering right. Offer is key. So a good offer means that you can ethically charge for high value services. If you are offering basic compliance, you are offering a transactional service. So the transactional services are all about lower priced. A transformational, so this is all transactional at the low price stuff. Transformational is at the higher price stuff, okay? And what do I mean about the difference between these? Well, a transaction is where we have tick boxes. It's where we have to make sure that we are compliant with HMRC here in the UK. It's that we have to pay our VAT. It's that we have to make sure that we do payroll properly. All of those things. You know what compliance is better than I do, okay? But these things have a ceiling on value, okay? Because your competitor down the road does exactly the same things and has to tick the same tick boxes that you do. So what we have to do is go higher up the value curve, and the higher up the value curve we go, the more we transform people's businesses, because that's when we start to offer advice. It's where we stop looking at the past and start looking at the future. It's where we look at marginal gains for our clients. It's where we help people increase profits, increase cash flow, increase turnover. The higher up you are, the more you transfer transform a business, the more you are going to be able to charge. But that's all the internal stuff. That's kind of, where you sit. Are you compliance based? Are you advisory based? There's a huge difference. Compliance based, I have clients that offer compliance and they charge £80 a month. And I have other clients that offer compliance and charge anywhere between £500 and £1,000 a month or dollars a month. So again, we have to look at what actually has the low price compliance as opposed to the higher price compliance. And a lot of that, the only differentiator comes down to confidence. Okay, so if you are offering compliance and only compliance, and by the way, there is nothing wrong with that. Every business has to be compliant. If you want a compliant only firm, you can absolutely scale that. But you have to remember that if you want to offer compliance and you want it to be higher priced compliance, you have to have confidence and work on your mindset, okay? Because that's about the only thing that's going to differentiate you in price when it comes to compliance, because you're doing the same thing, okay? Right, now let's have a look and see how we can get up that value curve, not with your offer, but when it comes to your marketing. How can you actually portray the value that you have, and how does that affect whether or not you can charge higher priced for whether it be advisory or compliance? Okay, and what are the stages that you need to go through, and what do you need to implement to make sure that this happens? Okay. Hey, morning Ian, how are you? Morning Matthew, how are you? Great to have you join us live. All right, so let's just have a look at where we are when it comes to pricing. Okay, so I typically see there are 4 levels of being able to price, and where people sit with their accounting and bookkeeping firm, and whether or not they are going to be able to command the price that they truly want to, okay? And some people find it easier to price compliance or advisory higher than others. There are some people out there that are charging £3,000 a month for advisory, where others are charging 500. There's a thing that affects that, all right? So first of all, we have 4 levels of specialism. Okay, so we have generalist accounting firms. At the very bottom, you are an accounting firm that does pretty much everything for everybody. Then what we have is we have specialist accounting firms. Now, the specialist accounting firms can be where you might have an industry niche that you specialize in, or maybe you've got a specialism in your services. Okay, so this is going higher up the value curve, because you've gone from generalist, where you're all things to all people, then you've gone to specialist, where you're either an industry specialist or you're a service specialist. Okay, the next level up is actually being a niche celebrity. Okay, so you are a specialist in a chosen niche, and you are exceptionally well known for that industry expertise. Okay, so people are talking about you and they see you as a bit of the go-to, and they think that you are A, going to be more expensive, and B, they believe, because you are a niche celebrity, they believe that you are worth the extra money. And then right on the top, right at the top of this value curve, it's not a niche celebrity, it's actually, more importantly, the market leader. And if you think about it, there are the big 4 when it comes to the accounting and bookkeeping profession, and those market leaders outcost you. They charge 10 times what the small accounting firm charges, and that's because they've positioned themselves as a market leader. So what happens when it comes to going out and getting clients when you are working your way up the triangle? Okay, so when you're a generalist, this is what happens, okay? When you're a generalist, you're all things to all people, you are completely a ghost. People don't even know you're there. And if people don't know you're there, if they stumble across you, there is no proof out there that you know what you're talking about. Therefore, we're going to question you on price. When you're a specialist, what happens is you are visible to that target market. And when you're visible and front of mind to that target market, what happens is they go, do you know what? I've heard about you. I hear you specialize in our industry. Yes, I'm interested. And they will pay you more than if you were a generalist, because they believe that you understand their industry better than anybody else. After being in the specialist, you then become a niche celebrity. This is where the magic happens. So my job when I work with accountants and bookkeepers is I want you to be above the line. So I take you from being a ghost or slightly visible to this, all right? I take you to being valued, okay? And when you are valued, people see the value of you. And when they see your value, it's not just about being a specialist. It's not about being super visible, okay? Two very key things. It's actually people understand that you are super valuable to them. As your value goes up, so can your prices. And then finally, we want you to become the market leader for your niche. And then you can expand out of your niche if you want to, or try a different niche, lots of different ideas there, okay? And then you are seen as vital. Now, vital actually stands for value, so you're valued, impact, so you create an impact, trusted, so if people trust you, they're going to pay you for your advice. And of course, when they pay you for your advice and they trust your advice, they take massive action. So that's all about getting results. Okay, so valued means very much about they actually see your value. Okay, impact is all about reach. Trusted is all about them relying on you and you getting them results. Okay, then we have agile. And you are seen as agile, which means that actually you'll have the best ideas and latest developments for a business. Okay. And then finally, we have lucrative at the bottom with vital. Now, lucrative is all about making money for your clients. And you know what? If you can make or save your clients money, you will make more money because we have a positive ROI. Okay, now if someone invests £500 a month to work with you as an accountant or bookkeeper, and you can instantly save them money on tax or see a way that they can grow their business or advise them on why they're overspending, then you become valuable. All right, prime example, actually, I was talking to my coach 2-3 months ago, just started with him, got a great new coach, you know who you are, and you're watching today, and I got a great new coach and he said to me, how can we reduce your costs? And I'm like, we can't. They are essential. I need all of these things that I have in my business. And over the past 2 months, I've got in the back of my mind him saying, you need to reduce your costs. Your costs are really high, Amanda. My turnover is really high as well, but my costs are really high. And I'm listening to this coach and I'm like, yeah, I know my costs are high, but I need them. It's essential. And he's like, you need to work on it. I sent him an email last week and I said, I've reduced my costs by 4K. It took me 2 months to build a bit of trust with him and, you know, really see the value that he was providing. And also it took 2 months for it to sink in that I needed to reduce my costs. So I went out and I searched where I could save that money. So my coach is vital to me. Already, because we've saved £4,000 a month on costs, I already have 10x'd the amount of return on investment from working with him. Okay, so it costs me very little, not an expensive coach at all, very little every month, but he has saved me £4,000 a month. Okay, so you need to think that you need to be looking at things like this with your clients. Now, my coach is a business coach, not an accountant. However, as an accounting firm, you should be on top of these numbers. Why did my accountant not actually say this to me? Why does he not say to me, Amanda, your costs are really high. I question them. What can we cut? Because he is not a vital accountant. He's not there providing the value, and I have to pay a coach to do that. Well, why can't I pay an accountant to do that instead of a coach to do that? Well, I've got a really good coach, so I don't need to look for an accountant, but you guys need to be putting yourselves out as these amazing coaches or consultants that help people make or save money. And that's why being vital is so key. So just to recap, okay, the higher up the value curve, the more you can charge for your services. The higher up the niche, being a niche and being visible, okay? So generalist, you're a ghost. Nobody knows about you. Okay, then you become a specialist and you start to be visible for your industry. Then you become famous and then people start to value you. And then you become vital. As more and more people value you, they see you as the market leader. And remember, vital means that you're valued, you're creating an impact, you're trusted, you're agile, and you are lucrative. So you provide value, you reach more people, you get great results, you are able to move with the times and pivot, and of course you're making or saving money for your clients. Okay, it's really, really key that you work on this. And there are so many people out there who are undervaluing their services. As an accountant or bookkeeper, you are probably doing it right now. You're not charging enough. You're not positioning yourself as vital. Therefore, if you're in the generalist category, you're not going to be able to charge the value that you're worth because you are not articulating that value. So your job is to work as hard as you can and be as visible as you can. The more visible you are and the more value you share, the more vital you will become. And that is the journey you have to go on. And it doesn't start with being a generalist and hoping. It starts with being a specialist, working in a particular industry, taking massive action and dominating that industry and becoming that market leader. So if you have any questions, let me know. Comment below if you were live watching this, #live. If you are watching the replay, #replay. I would love your thoughts. How do you feel about the market? What frustrates you most about what people are charging? What really would you like to see happen in the industry over the next couple of years? I'm beating my drum, trying to share the value of accountants. I'm doing it on your behalf, but you need to join me. You need to be there and pushing forward and sharing the value of the accounting profession and the bookkeeping profession. You have to step up and do it. I'm trying very hard, but I am one person. Imagine what it would be like if there were thousands of us and we all shouted about the value. Okay, and we all shouted about why accountants and bookkeepers were vital. You are not doing it enough. Come on, let's change this profession and start showing up with your marketing and really change the way that the accounting and bookkeeping profession is going to move forward. You are absolutely key workers for everybody who runs a business. You need to share that. All right. I'll catch up with you all tomorrow in tomorrow's live. If you've got any questions, then comment below. Let me know, did this resonate with you? And what are you going to do today to start positioning yourself as vital? Catch up with you soon. Take care.